Hi, LB here from the Dartmouth Student Wellness Center, here to offer you a brief sequence that's geared around this idea of tuning in, turning in to figure out what we might want to let go of in our lives in order to embrace more of what we actually want. So, before we get started, it might be helpful to have some props around to help your practice. That could be yoga blocks. It could be yoga block substitutes like paper towel holders, or a jar of peanuts in my case, something around that size that might just lift the floor a little bit for you when it feels too far away. And then as you feel ready, coming into a comfortable seated position, one that embodies a sense of wakefulness, yet relaxation at the same time. Legs can be crossed, one leg can be out, whatever you need in order to embody that. And then options to allow your eyes to close completely, or maybe you just take a soft downward gaze as we take a couple of moments to arrive, to settle, to soften. And bringing your awareness into your body, feeling the sitting bones against the earth, and perhaps rooting down with those sitting bones in order to invite this sense of wakefulness in the spine, the sense of growing tall out through the crown of your head, and then balancing all that upward lift with an intentional softening of your jaw, of the tops of your shoulders. And then beginning to tune in to the sensations of your breathing. Seeing if you can follow one full inhale with your mind. And then pay attention to one full exhale. And maybe you try that one more time, observing one full inhale and one full exhale. Maybe you try doing that again and again. And the mind may wander, and that's okay. At times it wanders away to the past, to the future. And it's that invitation to wake up when we notice that, and to draw our awareness back to being here now. And with this idea of being present and being here, I'm going to invite you just to contemplate if there's anything that's been in your past. Maybe it was just a couple of minutes ago, maybe it was yesterday, that hasn't been so helpful, that you would like to consider letting go of a little bit. It might be a storyline you're holding on to, that you're not enough. Maybe it's always striving for perfection. Maybe it's anger or resentment or blame. Something that detracts or pulls out your energy. And conversely, maybe with this intention of letting that go, that may provide space to embrace something more energy supporting in your life. And so thinking of how you would like to move forward into this day, what, if anything, would you like to embrace more of? It might be imperfection, kindness, compassion, focus. There's no wrong answer here. And then if it feels all right for you, I'll invite you to place your hands at heart center, pressing palm against palm and lifting your heart up towards your thumbs. And perhaps you say silently to yourself, whatever it is that you wish to let go of, and whatever it is that you wish to embrace. And may that plant a seed of intention for your practice on the mat as well as off the mat. I invite you to bow your head towards your heart, sealing that intention in. Beginning to deepen the breath. Inhale, expanding through the belly. And as you exhale, letting your arms come down, your eyes open if they were closed, and your chin lift. We're going to come over onto our hands and knees and come into tabletop posture with your wrists underneath your shoulders, your hands and fingers spread evenly, wrist creases parallel to the front edge of the mat, and toes tucked under. And from here, allowing the neck to be long so that the gaze is looking near the top of your mat, and the low belly is slightly drawing in. And just coming through some rounds of cat and cow, which is spinal flexion. So as you inhale, we're going to melt our heart between our upper arm bones while keeping the arms straight and strong. Soften our belly, scoop our tailbone, lift our chin, opening our throat, drawing the tops of the shoulders back, creating a U-type shape with the spine. Reversing that, starting with the base of the tailbone, just like a wave, scooping the tailbone under, arching the spine, dropping the head heavy, stretching the shoulder blades away from one another. Continuing with that flow, linking breath with movement. Inhale, swaying the spine, lifting the chin, drawing the shoulders back. Exhale to arch, stretching the shoulder blades away from one another, dropping the head. Inhale, wave-like motion. Exhale, the opposite direction. One more round here. Inhale, linking breath with movement, seamless connection, body and mind. And then inhale, coming to a neutral spine here. Shoulders over wrists, knees underneath hips, knees hip distance apart. And then from here, I'm going to just invite you to draw the right toes back long. The left arm reaches forward, keeping the toes grounded to start with and drawing the right thumb in front of you. And then from here, drawing the low belly in, hugging everything towards the midline. Option now is to float that back foot, reaching that back heel out long, getting a long line of energy from the back heel to the fingertips. Breathing in, embracing maybe some unsteadiness. Exhale, letting go the need to strike this pose perfectly. Inhale and exhale. Option to stay right here. But if you want to bring some flow, I'm going to invite you to inhale, arch the spine just like that cow position, reaching opposite elbow to opposite knee, curling everything in. And then inhale, opening everything up. Exhale, curling in, arching the spine, belly button draws towards the spine. Inhale to expand out. Exhale, drawing in. And inhale to extend. And then exhale, placing the left hand down, the opposite knee, just balancing it out with one round of cat and cow. Inhale to sway the spine. Exhale to arch. Inhale to that neutral spine position. This time drawing the left toes out, the right arm forward, fingertips reaching as much with the thumb as with the fingertips. I'm going to inch myself back so you can see the whole extension. From here, option to stay right here again, or you might play with balance, drawing that left heel up, right thumb out, still drawing the shoulders back towards one another, hugging towards the midline. Inhale, embracing the strength that you have here. Exhale, softening the muscles that you don't need right now between the eyes, the jaw, letting the gaze look down so the back of the neck is long. Inhale, an option to come into that flow again, drawing right elbow to left knee, curling everything in. Inhale to extend. Exhale to curl in. Inhaling to extend. Exhaling to curl in. Inhale, last time extension here, pausing for a moment. And exhale, placing everything down. Inhale, swaying the spine into cow. Exhale and arching. Inhale to that neutral spine. And then from here, placing the weight into your left hand, I'm going to draw the right foot up, and then you might help it up so that the right knee is over the right ankle. And from here, it's reaching the hands up to the front knee, coming into this low lunge. As we arrive here, this might be a really nice place to use these props to raise the floor, or just keeping the hand on that front knee, bending into that front knee, drawing the shoulders back. Option to float the hands. Maybe they come into cactus, maybe they reach back and you frame your heart towards the sky. Lots of options here, but just breathing, feeling, letting go what you don't need, embracing more of what you do. One more breath. Inhale, scooping the tailbone under to the low belly off the top of the leg. And as you exhale, framing the front foot and drawing your weight back as you lift that front foot, toes off the ground. This is a really nice place for props to come into this low runner stretch. Keeping the knee bent a lot, or at least a little bit of a micro bend to come into this hamstring opener. From here, drawing the left hip slightly back, right hip forward, so squaring hips and shoulders towards the front of your mat. Then inhale, getting length through the spine, through the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, maybe you soften your heart towards that extended leg while drawing the shoulders back. And just noticing what you feel in your body. Allowing that to be an anchor for your mind to be here now. To embrace more of what's happening in this moment and less worries of the past or anxieties of the future. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. And then walking your hands forward as you bend into that front knee, placing your right hand on the inner edge of that right foot and drawing that right knee back, coming into tabletop. One cat and cow here. Inhale to sway and exhale to arch, dropping the head. Inhale to that neutral spine, coming to the other side, so placing the weight in your right hand and just hoping that left foot up. The left knee is right over that left ankle. You want to make sure that the knee doesn't pass the ankle to protect the knee joint. So taking a nice long stance. Again, using props where that might be helpful. Drawing that left hip back so it's square with the right. And then options here. You're welcome to stay right here. Breathe, notice what's happening in your body. You're welcome to come up to your leg, or maybe even take your arms up and over, framing the heart towards the sky. Wherever you are, letting the shoulders remain soft, the tailbone scooping under, and the low belly lifting from the top of the thigh. Breathing in more spaciousness. Exhale, softening your shoulders wherever you are. Inhaling and exhaling. And if arms are lifted, on your next exhale, letting the arms find the floor or your props as you shift your weight back into that back knee and lifting those left toes off the ground. And finding what works for you here. Maybe it's a straighter leg, maybe it's quite bent, but keeping the hips and the shoulders somewhat square to the front of the mat. And then as you inhale, getting length from the tailbone out through the crown of the head. Neck is long. And then as you exhale, perhaps you soften just with the heart as the shoulders draw back. Just until you feel some sensation to work with in that back of the leg. We don't need to strive for pain. We don't need to strive for some shape of the pose that we think we should be in. Can we let go of the shoulds and embrace more nurturing for where we are right now? One more breath. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. And then as you're ready, shifting the weight back into that right hand, sweeping the left knee to align with the right knee, and placing the hands back on the mat. Inhale, swaying the spine into cow. Exhale, arching into cat pose. And then inhale to that neutral spine. And from here, kickstanding the left toe slightly off your mat as you reach your right foot behind you, placing the whole foot on the mat as you draw the right hand to the outer hip. Stacking shoulders, stacking hips. Gaze can look down, forward, or up. And then playing with balance here, rooting down with the inner edge of that left hand. Option to float the right arm up and over. Option to float the right foot. Coming into half moon variation and pressing down into the earth to extend skyward. Pressing that right heel away from you, the crown of the head away from you, while drawing the shoulders down your back. Nice. Letting a smile come to the corners of the mouth, just to bring some playful and lightfulness into this balance pose. Knowing you can touch down at any time. Taking one more breath here. Inhale and exhale. And then letting the right foot touch down. We're going to press into that left hand and float all the way up and come into a opposing stretch. Reaching the left arm up and over. And then coming into a little flow. Inhale, sweeping back into that half moon variation. And exhale, up and over. One more time here, full round, going at your own pace. And then bringing the left arm down, the right arm up, pivoting back onto hands and knees. One cat and cow, inhale and exhale. Coming to the other side, kickstanding the right foot out off the mat slightly. Shifting weight into the right hand, drawing the left foot back long. And I'm going to switch positions so you can see me on this side. And then from here, same thing. This side might feel a little different though, so you might not do exactly what you did on the first side. You might want to tent your fingers if that protects the wrists a little bit. You might want to stay right here. Only an option to embrace this kind of extension upward. And maybe you play with balance. Operative word is play, right? And then extending through the fingertips, extending through the crown of the head, extending through that back heel if it's lifted, while drawing the low belly slightly in, scooping the tailbone under, lifting the left side, maybe lifting the corners of your mouth. One more breath, inhale. And as you exhale, letting that left foot touch down, floating up to reverse the stretch, right arm up and over, and doing that flow 2 more times. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, reversing. Inhale, up. Last time here, touching down. And then right hand finds the floor. Maybe left arm floats. Coming back onto hands and knees. One cat and cow here to just balance out the body. Inhale, swaying the spine. And exhale to arch. And then from here, coming into tabletop pose. And just for a moment, inhale, hovering the knees, hugging the arm bones towards one another. And as you inhale, opening the knees, drawing the hips back, ears between biceps. Inhale, coming back to hovering. Exhale, reaching back. Inhale to hover, and inhale to reach back. Pausing here. Everything's lifted except for the toes and the hands, ears between biceps. And then inhale, coming to hovering tabletop once again. And then finally straightening the legs, coming into downward facing dog. Just stretching the whole body here, reaching the heels towards the floor, the sitting bones towards the sky, shaking the head yes and no, back and forth. Taking a deep breath with an open mouth, letting it out with a sigh. And then as you feel ready, inhale, tiptoeing your feet up to the front of the mat, coming into a forward fold with your knees bent a lot or a little. Another great place to use blocks or props of any kind to raise the floor. And letting the knees bend where you feel the belly perhaps on the tops of the legs, shaking out the head, yes and no, back and forth. And maybe even hugging opposite elbows with opposite hands, coming into a ragdoll where you straighten the legs ever so slightly. And then releasing your fingertips. And as you inhale, slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Coming up lastly with your head, which you're going to be cut off a little bit. And as you arrive here, coming into this strong, steady mountain. And I'm just going to come to my knees so I can see you. And as you're in mountain pose, bringing back that intention of what would be helpful to let go of, what would be helpful to embrace more of as you move on with your day and into the next moment. I invite you to bring your hands at heart center. Maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you say silently to yourself what it is that would be helpful to let go. And maybe it's changed, and that's okay if it has. And what would be helpful to embrace. And from my heart to yours, I wish you a day filled with ease, grace, and peace. Until next time, take care.